Hey, sorry I haven't done a vlog in a couple of days. I was waiting for more exciting things to happen, and then I just didn't have the time or energy to do them. So it's been a couple of days. I just got home from getting my legs waxed. Um, I wasn't really planning to do it, but I got a call a couple months ago. So I'm like looking at my. I also got my brows done, and like I have some missing hair or whatever, but she didn't really do anything. Like it's still bushy up here, and she didn't ask me what kind of shape I wanted, which usually they do or whatever. But she was in a hurry because I guess she had another leg waxing right behind me. Cat, do you have to be noisy right now? um, but yeah, I got my legs waxed. They called me like 2 months ago and offered a free leg waxing because I had gone there like over a year ago, and they wanted me to come back. So I was like, you know what? Fine, I will. Right before the thing. So I actually probably should have done it a little bit closer to the 11th, because like hair does start to grow back after like 2 weeks. They say you have to do it like regularly for it to stay gone longer, and I don't want to. For one thing, it's expensive to get your legs waxed. For another, it's painful, although the pain goes away pretty quickly. And also, I resent any kind of sexism. I resent, obviously topless inequality. I also resent just the expectation of like women have to have no body hair, and women can't talk about periods, and women are supposed to wear makeup, and women are supposed to have nice hair, and like all these sexist expectations for women that, obviously men don't get placed under. It's funny, I can always tell when my dad was upstairs while I was gone because shithead will find something new to destroy. I cleaned up most of it already, but she took a rather old Cat in the Hat book off the white shelves and destroyed that, which is kind of new because I don't think she's ever taken anything off those shelves before. Usually she takes stuff off the desk and destroys it. It's just like, fucking shithead. Don't get puppies. I didn't want a puppy in the first place, but it was really hard trying to find a younger dog, so it has energy that gets along with other dogs, cats, and kids. So I gave up and I got a puppy, and now I'm like, but I'm one of the people where if I adopt an animal, like it's family. It might drive me fucking crazy, but it's family. But yeah, my legs are still a little bit red and bumpy. They were really bad right when she finished. They don't really hurt. But when she initially pulls off, it's like whoa, and then 10 seconds later it's fine. She was having a great time pulling the leg hair because I don't shave generally because again, fuck standards. And so my hair was like a centimeter long, and she's like, it's so satisfying when the hair is long, and I'm like, okay, I'm glad you're having a good time. But anyway, so as I was driving home, okay, stop. She's chewing what's left. Little shit. She knows she did something wrong because as soon as I walk in, she cowers. And it's like, haha, you were doing something bad. You just did it anyway because you're a shithead. I'm so much more of a cat person. The only reason I have dogs, I got Fenris before I was even pregnant because I never had a dog before. And I always wanted one to like go exercise with and stuff like that. And, he's a good boy now. He's 6 years old. He definitely there were ways in which he was a shithead when he was a puppy. He did not destroy random shit as much as this. Like he would eat a shoe maybe, but he didn't just like randomly destroy whatever was laying around. He really liked tearing up paper, which was kind of annoying, but at least, I could just give him some paper and he'd chew it up. I've done that with her before. I've just given her like paper to chew up, and she's sort of like the kids where like if I give her something, oh yeah, I put the laundry up there. I'll just put it here for now. Because she also likes to go through the laundry. So I need to find a laundry basket that has a lid, so shithead can't get in there. All right. Anyway, she also asked if I wanted to do my armpits, and I was like, no, it's fine. I'll just shave them. And she's like, well, the hair won't grow back as much if we wax it. And I said, I don't like it to be like flush with the skin because then it's super itchy. I rather kind of buzz it and leave a little bit there. Again, I think it's stupid to be like, oh my god, I can see hair under her arms. She's unclean. Like, okay, so guys that have hair on their arms aren't unclean? Like, but yeah, so as I was driving home, I was thinking, you know, is it anti-feminist to shave and wax your legs and, you know, your armpits and stuff? And I did a video a while ago. I actually recorded it while I was putting on makeup. I don't remember if I've re-uploaded it to Trom yet because, you know, I'm having to re-upload all my old videos to Trom because they got banned on YouTube. And then I had them on Vimeo, and then Vimeo was trying to extort me for like ungodly amounts of money because they said I was using up too much bandwidth, even though I only had like 200,000 views over a month, and they said that was too much bandwidth, so fuck Vimeo. In fact, if you want to know more about that saga, go to toplesstopics.org/fuckvimeo. And then, you know, like a year ago, I found Trom. This is a little PeerTube instance that the owner specifically said, you know, he's from Spain, and he's like, I don't understand Americans' obsession with nudity. Like, I will never remove your videos for being, just for being, you know, topless or naked or whatever. But it takes a long time to re-upload, and it's just tedious because I've got hundreds of videos, and like, I'm, you know, not all the videos I think are good enough to bother re-uploading. And I mean, your definition for good varies. Yesterday I recorded I recorded a first episode of the Topless Topics Reads Creepypastas, and I did it very dramatically. I talked in a faux British accent and you know, acted out the voices, and I did makeup, and I tried to make the makeup dramatic. I don't know how dramatic it is. And then I did an intro wearing the full handmade outfit, saying, you know, hey, you're watching the Super Censored YouTube version. You should go watch the real version on the website. And I decided to live stream while I was editing it, partly because I was like, well, I put this makeup on, and it feels like a shame to just wash it off. So I used Joystick for the first time, which is a new platform that I signed up for months ago, and I've actually talked to the mods a little bit because, or the developers or whatever you want to call them, because right now it's a very small team, and it's a live stream website that allows sex, but the sex can't just be porn. It has to be like interactive. And you know, as always, it's very frustrating that the only place I can put my heinous female nipples is on places that allow porn. But Joystick's been around for a little bit, and a lot of the people on Joystick are sex workers who were on Plexstorm, which I used to live stream, you know, anything topless to, and then Plexstorm went belly up because they didn't invest wisely or something. I don't remember the exact situation, but you know, they left a lot of sex workers high and dry, which of course, you know, is what happens. There's no stability in being a sex worker, and I'm not a sex worker, but I get categorized as a sex worker to the point where I have random guys in AutoZone repeatedly ask if I'll have sex for money. Go watch that vlog. Gaia, she always chases the cats. I don't think she's gonna bite them, but the cats don't like being chased. Yeah, so you know, a lot of the people on Joystick are sex workers from Plexstorm, and I would like to do some co-streaming at some point, but I don't want to set up a regular schedule for Plexstorm until after the trip, maybe. What's funny is that I started streaming randomly at I think 12 or 1 or something like that, in the middle of the day, you know, Pacific Standard Time, and almost all my regulars showed up, and like 4 new people as well, and it was like, it's the middle of a weekday, like, don't you guys have work? But yeah, so it ended up being, you know, pretty good. Of the 4 new people that showed up, 2 didn't really talk at all. 1 talked a little bit and like didn't say anything particularly, you know, aggressive or harassing. One of them said that they were a lesbian and like was like, oh, I gotta come real quick, I'm gonna come back, and it was like, why did you say it? And they said it was to somebody else, but it was still like maybe they are, you know, maybe they are actually a, you know, real life lesbian or whatever. But I was talking to NASA about, like, you know, at least in what I've observed, even even really horny lesbians still don't really make a lot of rude sexual comments because they still know what it's like to be a woman and to have shit like that directed at you. So, you know, being horny, as I always say, being horny is not an excuse to sexually solicit somebody. You know, even as a topless equality activist, I constantly say, this is not sexual. Don't treat it as sexual. I don't want to hear how you want to jack off to me. Don't ask me for porn. And they still do. Anyway, yeah, back to liquor. It's complicated because, I mean, it obviously it depends on your definition of feminism, and, you know, some people, you know, like you have TERFs, trans exclusionary feminists, who are very anti-trans women and say, you know, they're still men, they're, you know, they I'm like hesitant how honest to be in this. You know, they're still men, they still have these advantages, blah blah blah. And my first experience with that kind of conversation was the scene in the series Transparent, which, if you've never seen it, the main story is that the father of the, you know, the older father of this group or whatever comes out as a trans woman, and so it's like about the adjustments to that. And then there's like a subplots with all the other characters and stuff. I really like that show. It came under fire because they hired a straight guy to play as a trans woman. I do think that, you know, they should, if it's a trans woman role, give it to a trans woman, because there's so few roles for them anyway. And I mean, ideally, you know, casting not only racially blind like Bridgerton, but also, you know, who cares if they're a trans woman? You know, anyway, I mean, like, very well, and it doesn't even matter if it's like a plot line about, you know, childbirth or something, because they're an actor. They don't have to be exactly the same as their character. I don't know. Anyway, so back to TERFs. The first time I heard of it was a scene in that where there was this older woman talking about, like, you know, this main character and people like her. They identify as a woman, but they lived an entire life, you know, especially in her case, because she, in the trans woman's case, because she transitioned so late in life that she had decades and decades and decades of living with male privilege. And I don't think that trans women are women. You know, obviously, like, women are women. Women are women. I do think that your childhood will shape a lot about you, and it's great that there's a lot more parents now that are not fighting against it. Like, even if their 5-year-old says, you know, I identify as a woman or non-binary or whatever. Like, I actually have several friends, well, friends of friends, who have teenagers that identify as non-binary, and they're, you know, doing their best to respect that. Obviously, older generations, and still many parts of the country and the world, are not so keen on, you know, letting youth explore their sexuality, explore their gender identification. But I think our childhood definitely plays a role in our adulthood. And so, as a cis woman, I have been treated as a sexual object since birth. You know, since I was a baby, I have been, you know, like, we were at the park the other day, and for some reason Link kept taking his shirt off. Like, I would yell at him, like, this is not an appropriate spot. People are going to freak out. But I'm like looking, and it ended up being 11 boys and 1 girl playing at this playground, and like 4 of the boys ended up taking their shirts off. And I was just looking at this girl, and it's like, she was little. She was like 5. And it's just like, if she took her shirt off, everyone would lose their fucking mind. And she's a child. Why are you thinking, you know, oh my God, that's sexual? Anyway, but that's not to say that trans women don't go through, you know, extreme hatred. Like, you know, and if you're a trans woman, a person of color, like, you're extra fucked, because not everyone, but the majority of people are either going to be racist to you, they're going to be transphobic to you, like, maybe both. Like, you know, you're facing all kinds of shit. But I'm just curious about, like, what are the different feelings of not being sexually objectified in the same way when you were raised pre-transition compared to how you're treated after transition, especially for those who, you know, are able to express themselves, you know, in the point where like people, you know, average people might even assume that they're cis. And again, like trans people get tons of hate. I am not saying that trans people don't get tons of hate. I'm just curious, like literally psychologically, like what is the difference? Like how does it feel to suddenly start getting objectified in a sexual way that you weren't before transition? Or, you know, as I point out with my videos a lot, like at what point in transition does somebody gain or lose the right to go topless in public? Because, you know, we say female nipples are sexual, you know, my nose always looks super crooked if the lighting is not equal, whatever. See, my nose is a little crooked, but it's not that bad. It's just the lighting. Self-conscious. Anyway, I was going to talk about leg hair and now I'm talking, whatever. And as I, you know, especially as I do these left-leaning videos and stuff like that, and, you know, am introduced to trans people and I think become friends with them and then meet other trans people through them and other non-binary and, you know, all over the spectrum. And as we slowly start to see more representation on film and TV and sometimes even actual trans people playing as trans characters, which is amazing. I forgot what I was going to say. I'm tired. I'm tired because I met up at a park with our new parent friend with her kids and my kids. And then while we were there, I mentioned, I was like, you know, I was thinking of going to the bar, the gamer bar by myself tonight because Matthew hasn't had the energy to go and I haven't gone in a long time. And especially as COVID rates are rising. So who knows if, you know, we're not going to be able to go out at all again. And I asked if she'd like to come and she was all excited. And so I took her down and she's like 20 minutes away. Which is kind of funny because we met because our kids go to the same daycare and the daycare is even farther away. So she has to drive like a half hour to go to the daycare. And like one of the things about daycare is it's supposed to be convenient. But she said it was the only one that had openings when she needed to put her kids in it. So, but anyway, she hasn't really played video games since like the SNES days, but I guess she was really into it back then. And so I brought her, I picked her up and I took her down there and it was just her and me and it was dead because it's, you know, it was Thursday. And we played a little bit of Mario Party and like, I don't like Mario Party because so many of the mini games are just like hit the button as fast as you can and it like makes my hands hurt. But she was just like all excitable and everything. And she's 26. She's, you know, 10 years younger than me. And we both have kids about the same age. You know, mine are about to be 4 and about to be 6. And hers are, I think, just turned 3 and her other daughter, her daughter is like 5 or 6. So, you know, our kids are very similar in age, but it's really obvious how much more energy she has. And I'm just like, oh my God. But I guess her kids go to bed easier too than mine do. So, you know, she probably gets more sleep than me, but I don't know. Anyway, so we went and it was fun, but like right at about 11, I wanted to go home and she got another drink and I was DDing and I was like, okay, I guess we're staying for a little bit longer because you got a drink. And then we left and it was like half an hour for me to get to her place and then half an hour to get back. So I didn't get home till 1 and I was dead. I wanted to go to bed so bad. So I went to bed and fell asleep pretty quickly. And then of course the kids woke me up at 5:30 like usual. So I was able to go back to sleep a little bit. But you know, getting sleep in chunks is not restful, but yeah. So anyway, I am so, I'm just interested in human psychology and I'm not in a like just asking questions thing, you know, like I actually want to hear from people. I want to know their lived experiences and, you know, I want to hear perspectives other than my own because, you know, stuff that maybe I never really saw as a problem, other people do. And unlike a lot of people, I'm not going to say that because I haven't experienced something, then therefore it doesn't happen to anyone. It's really strange to me how anyone could have that kind of attitude. Like, obviously you're going to only have experienced life the way you are, you know, as a cis white man or as, you know, a transition person, like whatever your life experience is, you haven't experienced other stuff. So the way to be a better person is to not impose, well, I didn't see that, therefore it doesn't happen, and listen and try to be receptive And I do. I try to be receptive. I really try not to be that dreaded, you know, cis white feminist ally stereotype who basically like kind of co-ops, kind of like the nudist men do to me. Not all nudist men, but a lot of the nudist men who like use my topless equality mission as a springboard for full body nude acceptance, because that's what they want. They want to have their wings fly free in the air, which again I do support, but that's not my main focus. And yeah, so like the dreaded white feminist ally or whatever, and like they don't listen to when something they do like offends other people. They're just like, well, I didn't mean it that way, and that's it, end of discussion. I do think, you know, there is some credence in like, that's not how I meant it, but I think what determines if that makes you an asshole or not is like, you can explain that's not what I meant it, but then you try not to do it again, you know, at least with the person who is offended, like if not in general. And again, I try to do that. So oh, I see she ripped up a mask too. Fucking puppy. So yeah, I guess I didn't talk a lot about leg hair. Basically, to summarize that, as always, I think sexism and anti-feminism or whatever comes in saying that you have to be a certain way. Another thing, like another version of feminism that I strongly disagree with is that like it's weak if you like girly things, if you like pink, if you like cooking or whatever, which is so nonsensical to me, because wanting equality means like wanting to be able to do whatever you want with your life as long as it's not actually hurting other people. And telling people that, you know, telling women or whoever, well, women, that if they enjoy or they participate in traditionally feminine roles, they're being a bad feminist. I feel like that goes against feminism, because you're still telling them to be a certain way. So I'm not like that. That is not my definition of feminism. And as far as like body hair, and I do actually have videos I did specifically about body hair. They're really old. They're from like the beginning of Topless Topics, and I will see if I have them uploaded already, re-uploaded. If I don't, I'll try to find them and re-upload them. But yeah, I don't know. It kind of makes me think of, as I've ranted before, the like militant nudists who mock people that prefer to wear clothes. And I was actually talking to my dad about this earlier today, how I'm a lot more of the, you know, I'm a lot more of the normalized nudity, but let people do whatever the fuck they want, category, which really came into highlight when I did that interview with Kenny, which I know I keep referencing, but I just feel like it was a really good discussion. It really went over a lot of this stuff, because for those of you who haven't seen it, Kenny is a longtime Topless Topics community member who supports non-sexual nudity, but is very anti, like, he does not want to be labeled a nudist. And his expression is clothing is a spectrum. And, you know, it's not a binary state, naked, not naked. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with anywhere on the spectrum. As long as you're not, it's like religion, you know, it's as long as you're not imposing it on other people, dress or don't dress as much as you want. It doesn't matter. Nudity is not sex. And even, you know, sex is a whole other description, you know, issue or whatever, but not issue, point of discussion, whatever. Yeah. So yeah, I think, for the rest of the day, I'm going to try to make some masks, and I'm going to adapt my designs to print on it. Like, I'm going to take my don't be a twit, they're just tits one, and put like don't be a twit on this side, they're just tits on this side. I had a pattern that was given to me by someone at Montevilla's Sewing Center, when I bought my sewing machine, that she said she had found online and she really liked. And I don't know if I can find it. I tried so many different mask patterns over the beginning of COVID, and like I never really found one that I totally liked. Like I could never get one that fit perfectly. But maybe I'll try again, and I don't know, maybe with like slightly stretchy fabric. But then of course, you know, we'll see what COVID rates are at VidCon. I did get my second booster. I got almost a week ago, so you know, it'll be in my system. But even boosted, we can still spread it. So that's the thing that really sucks, is even if you're protected against, you know, hospitalization and stuff, you can still spread it. And COVID rates are rising because people are acting like it's over. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see how COVID rates are because, you know, if there's a lot of COVID rates in VidCon, then I'm going to wear an N95 and maybe a branded mask over it. But it's going to be really hot there, so I don't know. It depends on how air-conditioned VidCon is. And it makes me sad because it's like I bought some funky lip colors and, you know, it would be fun to show those off, but maybe outside, you know. I don't know. I'll take them. We'll take it off outside. Take it off. And I still have my idea of, you know, setting up a camera and holding up a sign. I'm not wearing one of my branded t-shirts right now, but holding up a sign in front of my chest that just says, you know, can I ask you a quick question? And then if people come up, like obviously they'll see the camera, they come up and I'm like, do you support equality for all genders? And then if they say yes, then I drop the sign and show my shirt and I say, you know, even in regards to nipples, and then record their reaction or whatever. But it's really nerve-wracking to do stuff like that because it's a lot easier to just do it in a video and not react to people. And even on live streams, like I've got my regulars there defending me, so when I get a pervert, you know, they all tell them to shut up. But at VidCon, I'm going to be all by myself. And it's a lot. I wish I had a friend. Okay. Yeah. I don't know what to title this video now. Because you know what, fuck it. I'll still title it, like, is leg hair, anti-feminist. And to finish that point, which I keep trying to do, again, it basically, like, expecting women to have to either shave or grow their hair long. That's anti-feminist. If people want to shave their legs or wax it or whatever, just let them do what they want to do. Just let them be themselves. And don't tell them that they're being a bad feminist if they, you know, ascribe to traditional feminist roles or not feminist, feminine roles. Gender abolition. Vosh was the first one that I heard saying that word, and I looked into it a little bit, and I'm definitely in that category. I didn't have a word for it before, but basically, you know, I don't think that your appearance should dictate your gender. I also don't think your biological, you know, what you were born as or what you were assigned as should define your gender. Gender is a social construct. It's different than sex. And even sex, you know, there's people born intersex, there's people, you know, whatever. But yeah, I really like the idea of people being able to, you know, have or don't have body hair as much as they want, wear makeup, dress however they want. It doesn't hurt you, you know? Someone wants to be butt naked, doesn't hurt you. It's not the same as sex, not having sex in front of your kids. But I don't know if we're ever going to get to a world like that. It definitely seems like it's getting a lot more anti-women and anti-trans and just pro-gun violence. We're all going to die of climate change. It's a bad time. Bad time. I wish I was ignorant enough that I could just, like, not care about all the bad things going on, but okay. Depressing note to end it on. But I am happy. I am happy to be going to San Diego, as long as it doesn't get canceled 3rd time in a row. Because one of us gets sick, or COVID rates explode. I don't know, you know, whatever. Many things can still go wrong in a week, but yeah. All right, I got an exciting new video that I'm editing that should be up before VidCon. So follow me on social media so you can find out when that video goes up. Toplesstopics.org/contact has all my links. All right, bye.